I would now, while you're enjoying your first course, I would like to invite Ms. Vera Jourova, EU Commissioner for Justice, to address us. Please, the floor is yours.
Mr. President of the Conference of the European Rabbis, Rabbi Pinchas Goldschmidt, members of the Conference of European Rabbis, representatives of the Jewish community, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to thank the Conference of the European Rabbis for the opportunity to speak here today. It's a very precious moment for me. Europe, through its values, is and must be a place for everyone, regardless of gender, nationality, race, or religion. Judaism is also an essential part of our European culture and history, and it is inconceivable to think of Europe without the Jewish communities contributing to its culture. We should keep this in mind in times of rising extremism and hatred, when people tend to forget that undermining our diversity means undermining our own cultures and society. The increase of anti-Semitic incidents across the EU member states is a real signal that we must strengthen our efforts to defeat this evil. Indeed, I just heard this sentence quoted from Benjamin Netanyahu's letter. We must remain very vigilant in Europe. The best and the only way to succeed is to pool our resources and deepen the collaboration between the European Union and organizations like the Conference of the European Rabbis. I can assure you also of my personal commitment in the fight against anti-Semitism in Europe. And I believe that the work of the Conference of the European Rabbis is also crucial for this battle. You can fully count on the European Commission to remain committed to fighting anti-Semitism in all its forms. I have personally made it a top priority during my term in office as a European Commissioner. And I have said on a number of occasions that anti-Semitism is not only a problem for Jewish people, it is also a problem for the European society as a whole. I said many times that when we appear now in the situation when the Jewish people are moving from Europe somewhere else because of the feeling of insecurity, it's a shame of Europe, and we have to change this. As an expression of its commitment to continue remembrance of the Shoah, the European Union joined the International Holocaust Remembrance Alliance, IRA, on the 29th of October of November last year as permanent international partner. This comes as a direct follow-up to President Juncker's commitment for closer international cooperation in his statement of Holocaust Remembrance Day in 2018. With this in mind, I recall that the EU is supporting an €8 million project to digitalize archives at Yad Vashem under the Horizon 2020 program. Many of you will be aware that I have recently commissioned 2 important surveys to assess the current levels of anti-Semitism in Europe. The first, carried out by the European Agency for Fundamental Rights in 2018, showed that the Jews in Europe face acts of vandalism, insults, attacks, and even murder. The survey also indicates that 9 out of 10 Jews in Europe today perceive a strong rise in anti-Semitism, while 4 out of 10 Jews think about leaving Europe. Similarly, 7 in 10 Jews believe that their national government's efforts to combat anti-Semitism are not effective. However, just over half of the respondents positively assess their national government's efforts to ensure the security needs of the Jewish communities, which is rather better result. And in January this year, we released a special public opinion survey through Eurobarometer to complement the Fundamental Rights Agency survey published some time before that. This second survey focused on the public's perception of anti-Semitism. It showed that more than a third of Europeans think that anti-Semitism has increased in their country over the past 5 years. And more than half think that conflicts in the Middle East influence the way Jewish people are perceived in their country, in the EU. According to the same survey, a majority of respondents in 8 EU member states, concretely it's about France, Sweden, Germany, Italy, Belgium, the Netherlands, Hungary, and the United Kingdom. So in these countries, they see the desecration of Jewish cemeteries as a problem in their country. Last December, the EU took a major step forward in the fight against anti-Semitism when the Council adopted a declaration on combating anti-Semitism. It was the Council where we have all the ministers of Home Affairs, the ministers whose task is to ensure security for the people in the member states. So this is indeed, in my view, a very important step forward and a signal that the member states are ready to do more for security of Jews. The declaration calls on member states to develop a holistic strategy to prevent and fight all forms of anti-Semitism as part of their national strategies on preventing racism, xenophobia, radicalization, and violent extremism. To translate this declaration into more concrete action, I announced in January the creation of a working group which focuses on 4 main themes, which is security of Jewish premises, education, the IRA working definition of anti-Semitism and data collection, and the adoption of national strategies to fight anti-Semitism. The working group with the European Commission, which the European Commission is coordinating, will facilitate the exchange of best practices and allow for monitoring progress in a systematic way. And the midterm aim of the working group is to deliver a positive change in the experience and perception of anti-Semitism by the Jewish community. The long-term goal of the working group is to support member states to adopt national strategies to combat anti-Semitism, including addressing anti-Semitic hate crime and hate speech within the wider context. Member states would tailor the adoption of such strategies at the national level to their country's needs, priorities, and achievements so far. With these efforts and achievements so far, I would like to express my sincere hope for a Europe where Jews are and feel secure, a Europe where you can express your own cultural and religious identities openly and without fear, Europe where you can practice your religion without any limitations, and a Europe where our societies see Jews as inherent part of European cultural and social life. Ladies and gentlemen, let us work together to achieve this goal. Thank you very much.